Hey guys, chopping down a tree here, and I need to make a cross. It's almost Easter, and I want to show the people how Jesus died. And so, chopping down a tree here and thinking about our daily latte devotion here. And today it's the familiar concept of carrying a cross. It's the all too familiar phrase, if you will, that believers use when they talk about heavy burdens in their lives as a cross that they must carry. And so the cross becomes anything burdensome or painful. So your chronic back pain is a cross you must bear, or that dysfunctional relationship at home or at school is seen as the cross that you must carry. And the unreasonable boss, your friends tell you that he's the cross that you must bear. Or your nagging wife or domineering husband is the cross you must carry. Now, if you're meeting in a group, you can pause to share the things in your life that are really difficult and burdensome. Pause now. Let's think about this. Is the cross really your spouse, boss, or back pain? Jesus says in Luke chapter 9:23, if anyone would come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. And when the disciples heard it, they did not think about their boss or their spouse. They no doubt were thinking about the horrific experience of carrying themselves a cross that would ultimately lead to their own death. You see, carrying the cross, it was a painful and long drawn out process of torture and death. Much heavier than this, but the point is, you're not going to get your needs met. You needed to take a break from carrying that heavy crossbeam which weighed over 100 pounds, but that's not going to happen. You want a relief from the pain of suffering, of being nailed to the cross, but that was not coming. In other words, the entire experience of carrying the cross was about the slow process of taking away everything that you needed, which ultimately led to your death. And so Jesus compares following him to this torturous experience of carrying a cross. He even defines it as denying yourself. And so the message is clear. Following Jesus is like the painful experience of denying yourself and going through personal suffering that ultimately leads to your death. This death could be physical, but the intent here is a spiritual lesson of self-denial. In other words, it's about the self-denial and death to your personal agenda. It's about putting to death your selfishness and other sinful tendencies in order to follow Jesus. And so the cross is not your boss. It's not your spouse. The cross is you. It's your own sinful desires and tendencies that keep you from being a true disciple of Jesus. Now, if you're meeting in a group, you can pause to share the personal challenges and sinful tendencies that keep you from following Christ. Pause now. So it really does cost a lot to follow Jesus, right? Somebody said that it costs nothing to believe in Jesus because Jesus did all the work. But it costs everything to follow Jesus. And the ultimate price to pay is death to yourself. It's the daily process of self-denial to follow him. And this is true discipleship. In fact, look to Jesus himself as the greatest example of self-denial and sacrifice. You know, he did all of that for the greater purposes set out for him. So consider today, your personal sacrifices as you carry your own cross of self-denial, all for the greater purposes for your life.